Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Notary Academy channel. I'm Kimberly Sennett, and today we're featuring another incredible story from one of our students. At Notary Academy, we are all about real stories, real journeys, and real results. So our guest today has taken a leap into the notary world, and we're going to hear all about her path, her challenges, her wins, and her experience with Notary Academy. Miss Lawnet Braggs, thank you so much for being here.
Yay! Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Thank
I'm
you.
so excited to talk to you. So please tell everybody how long you've been a notary, what your journey has been, how where you live, how long you've been a notary, and what you did before you became a notary.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Lynette Braggs, and I am a proud Notary Academy student. I have been a notary now for going into my fifth year. I am a former human resources manager for the United States Postal Service of 34 years. As I journeyed into retirement or even thought about it, I was trying to find something that would somewhat align with what we do in HR. And, just to give you some background, integrity is huge in HR, as most people know, you would think. And so I decided to take the class, and it actually fell in alignment with my personal goals in life, which is helping people and, having integrity and just being a service to the community. That was my main thing for jumping in. I came in 2021, which of course we know was right around the COVID spike, and it actually helped fulfill that void of not being in contact with people at that time, and also being able to help people who really needed help during COVID, seniors who couldn't get out, people who were in convalescent homes who needed assistance. And so it's not so much to pay for me, to be quite honest. It's more of a personal satisfaction of being able to help people. And I live in Menifee, California. That's just outside of Temecula, for those who might be familiar, and not too far from San Diego. I generally stay in my area. Every now and then I'll go a little ways outside of, but I'm retired, so it's all fun for me getting to drive and see new sites sometimes. And pretty much I try and stay up on training and education, and I enjoy the networking.
I love
And
that.
here I
Yeah, I love everything that you just said because you are truly in this business for the right reasons. Um,
Yeah,
I'm the same as you. I'm very passionate about being a notary. I'm very passionate about helping others. And
hmm
um, it's just music to my ears when I hear that you're in this for all of the right reasons. I didn't hear, "Oh, Kim, I'm doing this because I'm gonna make six figures. I'm doing this because I'm gonna get rich." You're
yeah,
you're doing this because you see what positivity you bring to others because you do. You help them in a way that it most people don't realize that how a notary, what an integral part we are to so many different transactions. And
absolutely,
I love,
absolutely.
and you're retired. And being retired, this is such a great profession to keep you busy, right? To have something to do, not only helping people, but to actually have something to do while you're retired, right?
Absolutely. It keeps me on my toes, When I have time, I'm reading and checking the websites and, going to the Secretary of State to see what's changed. And, to me in the notary world, there's things are always changing.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to stay educated. I mean, we've got a couple of new forms that I've just seen recently, the 8821. That's a new document for me anyway. And some of the packages I've seen. So I said, oh, I've got to go check out and see what these two forms are so that if a client asks, I'm able to give them at least an overview of what those two documents are. I at least like to know what they are and what they're for, you
Right.
know. Hmm.
Right. So let me ask you something then. Being retired, I know myself as I am aging that when it comes to learning new things, it
Uh-huh.
can sometimes be a little scary where you're like, when you say education and stuff, sometimes we get to an age where we're like, I can't learn something new because it's just, I have all these years in here of the stuff that I learned, and then to put more in there, I don't know if I can do it. I feel like that's a lot of people in, as we get older, that's kind of how we feel, right? Is it hard? Tell the retirement community, tell people that are our age that are getting ready to retire, that are, in this bracket of, let's say, 50 years old to 70 years old. What does that look like for us? Can we do this? Can we do this job?
Absolutely. Absolutely. As an HR manager, um, my role is helping people transition to those, cross those bridges, right? And to the next step. You have so many people who are afraid to stop working, like what do I do next? And so I think this journey of being a notary, you either can go fast paced or you can go slow. You can take your time and soak it all in, or you can, just crunch it all in and go right at it. But it's definitely um, an opportunity for someone who's retiring because you could do one signing a week or one signing a day, or you can do two signings a day. It's all up to you. You make your own schedule. It's all on how much you want to do, how much you think you can handle. You can start off with general notary work, uh, not so demanding as the real estate, uh, field. Working with escrow, sometimes that can get to be a little more stressful when you're not experienced. So in this field, you actually can take your time and take the smaller things first, get to know what you're doing, get comfortable with the documents, the acknowledgement, the jurat, get comfortable with which is which and when to use which, or, oh no, this, you know, maybe this isn't the right document, or if someone asks you a question, you are able to guide them or propose to them or show them the documents that perhaps they're looking for, as opposed to jumping into another career that is really demanding and just as stressful as the one you're leaving. I think the notary gives you a little bit more flexibility to control how much you do and the pace that you're going to do it at, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. So do you primarily do loan documents, or do you do all kinds of notary work? What is your specialty? Are you diversified in everything?
I would say 75% of my work is loan documents, but I also do general notary work for my community specifically. Um, Basically, here in Menifee, a lot of my neighbors will reach out to me that are really close that need something notarized. And of course, I know most of them, right? Because I live in the community. And then I also have Bank of America found me. I don't know how, right? And so I've done lockbox certifications for them on a regular basis for about 2 years now, which is another opportunity that I think people don't realize you can use your notary commission for, which is, watching them open up the safe deposit box and then assisting them with recording the contents and whatnot. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with the commission outside of the real estate world. And I think people don't realize the different avenues that they can take and leverage that commission. Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely. So, how did you get started? Where did you go to when you very first became a notary? Did you go to the National Notary Association? Did you go to where did you go?
I did. I started with the National Notary Association, the NNA. I used to be a marketing manager before I was an HR manager. Let me just give you that background, right? I was a marketing manager for all of Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, Malibu. One of the things that was proposed by headquarters was to make our retail clerks notaries. Well, that got shot down at the Congress level. They said, no, absolutely not. But it always stayed on my agenda. And so that's how my interest was sparked into becoming a notary. That I always said, when I get time, I'm going to take that class. And I kept putting it off until finally I said, let me just Google this NNA and see what that's about. And so I took my class there. I also took, oh gosh, I've taken training with everyone.
Yeah.
I took the Notary to Pro training. I took the LSS training. I've taken the Notary Academy training because I wanted to continue to build my knowledge, my knowledge base. I wanted it to be the best that I could give to the clients in the community, right? And I think knowledge is power. Just my
I agree with you 100%. Would you not agree that taking all of that training has actually made you a better, well-rounded notary? If you had only taken one of those trainings, do you think that you would be as good as you are today?
no, absolutely not. Learned quite a bit from each one. Um, some were better than others. I'll give you that. I wasn't, if I can be perfectly honest, the loan signing training with the NNA, the loan signing part, not the commission part. I wasn't real impressed with that one, especially after I took training with a couple of the others. If I could just say something that I really appreciated and I stuck with Notary Academy was the ongoing weekly training, right? Every week there was something that you guys highlighted that was beneficial to me. And I could come to those meetings and I could learn something new every week, hands down. The other thing I think that was good was the encouraging part. Whether the intention of the weekly meeting was to encourage or not, that might not have been the topic, right? Just the fact of knowing there were other people attending those meetings who were in the same position as me, trying to learn, just getting started. And the mentorship was outstanding. I just being real, I've referred several people to Notary Academy because hands down, the mentorship it's there. It's not just talk, and a couple of them out there, they're just talk, right?
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that very much. And I do have to say, for those of you that are not Notary Academy students and you're wondering about the weekly stuff, we used to have every single week where we would do a Notary Academy meeting. Now we do them once a month, but we still do weekly mentorship. It's called Yay, It's Finally Friday, and it's a national mentorship. So
Yeah,
and that's free to anybody. You don't have to be a Notary Academy student for that. So we do those on Fridays from 12 to 1. So those are always fun because we celebrate each other's wins and what everybody's up to and what kind of goals they're setting. And I agree with you. It's encouraging. And I feel like when you get off that call, you're like, okay, I'm ready for this next week. I'm ready to, figure out what I'm going to tear down and do and all those good
right.
things. So, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I will say this is I think my students hear it all the time is my goal is not to be, oh, the number one training and you should only take training from Notary Academy because you just said it. You've taken all these trainings and you feel that you have benefited from all of them. And that's what I say is that I would never tell anybody not to take training. Just make sure you're taking good quality training that is
Right.
worth the money that you're paying. And yes, what lands from one might not land the same way from another. What you learn from one might not be the same that you learn from another. So it does make you a better, well-rounded notary for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You are 100% correct, Kim.
Okay, so I want to know, do you remember your very first signing?
Oh my God.
And we want to know, how did it go?
Oh my God. Let's see. One that just stands out, and I don't know if it was the very first, but I think it was. I think I sat in the car for like 2 hours after I finished the signing, going through the documents to make sure I didn't miss anything. I was so nervous, and here I am, almost 60 years old, doing my first signing. You would think, oh, I'd be a little more confident going in. I felt like a teenage kid reporting for my first job. That's the reason I point that out, right? And I had a really nice couple. It was good. And I sat in the car. It was raining because I got my commission in October. And I sat there and I went through every single document before I drove away, like 2 hours. It took me to go through them. I was just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. But I think about it now, and it's just so funny because, of course, you get better with time. You get better with time. You learn the documents. It doesn't take you 2 hours to check them over when you're done because you know what to look for. And I think I can honestly say I appreciate those customers because they were patient with me. I think they knew, new notary. And of course, they don't know how it's supposed to go. I think it was their first time signing for a refi. Interest rates were at 2% at that time. And the loan signings were coming like crazy. I was actually turning down work, to be quite honest with you. But that first signing, it was wonderful. And something that I did in the beginning, I would bring little gifts for my clients. Dollar store, and because it was the holidays, I bought little candles, just little dollar candles, wrapped them in a little cellophane, and I'd give each one of my customers a candle for being patient with me, and congratulations on either their purchase or their sale or their refi or whatnot. Just a token of my appreciation.
I love that so much because we're always talking about bringing stuff to, the escrow or to the agents and to,
Uh-huh.
those clients. But you just said you brought stuff to your signers.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
I
yeah.
guarantee you that not only was that so kind and giving of you, but I guarantee you that they remembered you. And they probably told all the people they worked with how lovely you were, all because you did do something so kind and generous.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. My husband was like, "Where are you going with all those candles?" And I was like, "They're for my customers." Like I said, I was a marketing manager. It's important to take care of the customer. Customer first.
Very
I don't care how big, how small the signing. Customer first.
I love that. That and I mean, really, truly, it's genius because you're doing something kind, but ultimately you are marketing in a way, right?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, you're doing it in a way that it doesn't appear that you're marketing, but you are, and it's genius.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
absolutely is.
And I didn't do business cards or anything like that. Just a small little, candle, wrap it in cellophane, put a little bow on it, and it's the holidays. Yeah.
Love
I
it.
believe in giving. Everyone wants to take. We have to give sometimes too. So, yeah.
I love that. Okay, so tell me, what made you choose Notary Academy? I know you took other programs too, but what made you leap and decide that Notary Academy was for you?
Um, so you probably don't remember this. I think I found Notary Academy on social media and I was following. I hadn't quite joined yet. I attended the LSS conference in Las Vegas.
Hmm.
We had a great time. I actually met you there. Walked up, introduced myself. And I think there was a group of us. We were really small then. That was in like 2021, I think, or 20,
Yeah,
yeah, 2021.
2021. Yep, it sure
Was
was.
it 2021?
Huh?
And I had an awesome time. I had a wonderful time. The welcome was warm, which is important to me. And I said, okay, I'm going to keep following. So I kept following. And then I said, okay, that's it. I'm joining. I'm jumping in. I'm becoming part of the team. I'm going to be an advocate for Notary Academy. I want to be a student. And yeah, the rest is history.
The rest is history. And I do have to point this out. And I want this to be heard loud and clear. If you are a signing service owner and you have not worked with Lawnet yet, you need to. I will tell you, she is a preferred notary for Seal the Deal. It's National Signing Service. We absolutely love working with her. Whenever she says yes, we assign it to her. So if you are looking for a great preferred notary in Southern California, this is your girl. So I definitely want to point that out because I love whenever you do say yes, we know that we don't have to worry. We know that the file is going to be taken care of. It's going to be professional. Your handwriting is impeccable, which I love. I always think that a notary
Thank
should
you.
have wonderful handwriting,
Thank you.
and yours is there. And I really think that you're top notch. So I
I
appreciate
appreciate
everything
that,
you do
Kim.
for us.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. You have no idea what that means to me. It means the world. Go out my way to represent all of my signing services in a positive and professional way when I'm out there at the table. Um, you know, that's the way I was raised in the industry and working, and it just kind of transitioned from my career job over into this position. I try and carry myself the same way. Sometimes I can be a little directive, being an executive at a higher level, which can sometimes so can be a little intimidating, I think, for some people.
Yep.
And I think as you grow, and I didn't say go, I said as you grow through your commission as a notary, you'll learn um, how to adjust to the people and the different scenarios of who you're working with. Becomes very important. Communication is absolutely key to your signing service, your escrow company, your customer. And sometimes when that communication is broken is when you'll have like a downfall. So it's really important to communicate. And I try and just keep that on an up and up so that everybody is aware of what's happening. I think that's been a very valuable lesson for me in my journey.
Oh, I love that you just said that because that is huge. Communication is key in everything we do and in all realms. Signing service
Yeah,
or direct, doesn't matter who you're working with, being able to keep everybody abreast of what's going on and
absolutely.
communicating is huge. So, but and you are great at doing all of those things. So again, like I said, you're preferred for us and we love it. Okay, I have to ask you, how do you see your notary career going in the next few years? Are you going to continue to just do this forever and ever? Is that your plan? Or are you trying to diversify into apostilles or what is your plan?
I just recently looked into um, getting into apostilles, to be quite honest. Someone just sent me a link to take a training about 2 weeks ago. And true story, I was at a signing about 2 weeks ago, small signing, corporate building. And the gentleman who was signing with me was actually a property investor. And so we were in a classroom setting. He had me sit in the front of the class and I made fun of, and I said, oh, okay, I'm going to be your student. And I said, so what are you teaching? And he says, oh, I teach property investment. I said, oh, okay. I said, I'm willing to be one of your students. And so we were just joking about that, right? And he says, well, by chance, do you do live scan? He said, I have 100 students right now that I need live scanned.
Oh,
And shame on me because about a year ago, I looked into it and then I kind of pushed it to the side to focus on my commission. And I didn't follow up and missed out on an opportunity for 100 potential live scan students because
yeah.
he was really serious about live scan, right? And if I could throw this in there, that's another thing about being a part of Notary Academy. I've been able to reach out to you to find either other notaries or refer business to you or someone else within that you know because you know people all over. And that I think is beneficial. That networking is key. That definitely is key. So as far as my future going forward, I think I need to now start getting more into a little direct. I haven't done that. I enjoy my signing services, to be quite honest. I have a couple of directs that I work with, but not as many as I should after 5 years. So that's my next move.
I love that. Well, let me know if you need any help with that, but I think that that's great. It's all about diversification. So
Yeah,
that's your next
correct.
move. I love that. Okay. One last question here. What is your favorite part about being in Notary Academy? Like if someone's watching and wondering if it's like the right fit for them, what would you tell them? What's your message?
You know, I just referred someone who moved here from Texas to Notary Academy last week. Just so you know, I have to talk to you about that too. We'll do that after the show. But um, I enjoy the camaraderie. I enjoy the networking. I enjoy the and brotherhood, so to speak. You know, people will call and say, are you a student of Notary Academy? I mean, that's like wearing a badge of honor. You know, that's like having a star on my chest. Absolutely, I enjoy being a student. The flexibility of if I can't make it to one of the meetings, being able to go to the site, um, and this has happened a few times where I can log in to Notary Academy and go check some of the videos because I have a question about a signing that's very early in the morning and I don't want to bother Kimberly or or Audra in the middle of the night with my questions. I can go do some studying and some researching and go back and check out, you know, hey, what do I do with that one? Because, you know, you don't deal with every situation all the time and you need a little refresher. So I can go watch those videos and I tend to log in and go back and take a look and poke around. I just enjoy being a student of Notary Academy and I refer you all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah. My daughter just took her commission, I think, this year with you. And I think that flexibility is also a plus. People being able to take it online if they'd like. I think that's huge. I think it's comforting for some people who may be intimidated about getting in person.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I agree with you for that. And I mean that's the thing is that's we try to kind of guide and hold hands as much as we possibly can, you know. And I think that that is what kind of gives people a little bit more confidence.
yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Everyone's not comfortable being in person or, you know, face to face. They have to, it takes them a minute to fill it out and see if this is a good space for them. And behind the camera, I think sometimes through a Zoom meeting or watching online, I think is a good fit for a lot of people, especially in today's environment.
Right.
Yeah.
And I that's the thing is that's why I think that coming to I say it all the time, like coming to mentorships and stuff, like going to the It's Finally Friday mentorship, stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
It really helps not only myself, but other signing service owners that come to that. When we start seeing students on a regular basis, it's that whole networking thing. And you start seeing how people present themselves, what kind of questions they ask, you see where they are in their journey. And I myself, I start going, okay, I need this person's zip code. I need to
Yeah.
find out where they're at so I can see if they can, you know, come work with us. So,
Yeah.
it's definitely helpful to attend those kinds of things for sure.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Well, Lynette, I have to tell you, thank you so very much for sharing your story with us today. I feel like your journey is very inspiring, and I know it's going to motivate and help others that are thinking about becoming notaries. So, if you're watching this and you're wondering if notary career could be right for you, or if you're looking for training that actually prepares you for real world success, Notary Academy is here for you. Annette, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you very, very much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Kim, a proud Notary Academy student.
Yay!